everybody. Welcome back to Forever Conscious Research Channel. Hope you find yourselves doing well out there today on this Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time of day it may be where you are. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to this one. For some of you read the description, some of you may already be familiar with Harold, who's going to be on the show. he had an amazing video that he put out in 2019 about his pre-birth memory, and it was a big one. And so not long after, I did a commentary on it, and a few of you went over to his channel and left a comment, I guess letting him know about the commentary. He came over and watched it, and then we've been in touch off and on ever since, trying to work out a date to discuss this further. And so today's the day. I'm really looking forward to it. So I want to welcome Harold to the channel. Great to have you with us, my friend. How you doing today?
Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for having me, Mark. I'm doing good.
So, what do you think? What do you think triggered? I mean, I know you said in the video that basically you had been looking since dial-up days about pre-birth memories.
That's right.
Did you ever write anything on forums, talk about it, or was it just kind of spur of the moment that you did that video? Like, I mean, probably like what, 20 years later, maybe even longer?
Yeah. I didn't write like anything in forums. It was just, that early access to the internet thing. And I'm like, oh man, I have all this information at my fingertips. So I just, was just reading forums and found other people that had the same experience as me. And it just blew me away because it's basically, it's been a memory I've always had, and I finally was like, hey, I can, figure out what this is, does anybody have this experience? And then the rest is history.
Nice. So, do you ever remember, or do any of your family remember you talking about any of this when you were a child? I mean, you might not remember bringing it up, but did you ever talk to them? Did anyone ever say like, oh yeah, you were talking about all this when you were 3 or 4 or 5?
No. My family is not necessarily open to that kind of thing. So if I did, they wouldn't they would just chalk it off as me being,
Fantasy.
eccentric or something, so.
Yeah, that would shut you down.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, that's like the shame of it. With all these, with anyone who has these experiences, especially like in this materialistic culture that we reside in, it's or just twisted religious culture that's embedded and ingrained in families. It prevents people like you from being able to share the truth. And
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it just goes hand in hand because again, my family was, is very religious. So I grew up going to like Christian schools and things like that. So there was no bringing that up. It's like, oh, you're just crazy. You're just dreaming. It was a dream, Oh
yeah. Just fantasy, just a dream. Yeah. Everything and anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the pre-birth memory. I kind of want to allow you to kind of give us the start of it, and what's the very first memory you have of those moments?
Okay. Yeah. The very first thing I remember ever is this moment. It was me just floating around and just feeling like I was in complete bliss. And it's hard to describe, but I had a body and didn't have a body at the same time. Like I was kind of like morphing. And like, I was like looking at my hands and I was like an old person and then morph into like a baby and then morph into like a teenager, just kind of like changing. And at the same time, like the bliss that I'm talking about, that it's basically like, experiencing like intense amounts of knowledge like going through you, and then you're also like asking questions at the same time. So it's like that in itself is like the bliss that I'm trying to describe. It's like you just feel so good because you're like, you just know everything and you're just asking questions and still learning. It's like, it's pretty hard to describe, but
and like everything's kind of like instantaneous, telepathic.
that's correct. That's correct.
So when like you were seeing the body changing form, young to old, was it like also male, female, anything like that, or?
I don't remember that part.
Okay.
I felt like it's weird because I remember it was like me. Like I don't, this is the weird thing. I don't have any past lives that I remember yet. I've been trying, to figure that out, but it felt like all those bodies were mine.
Okay.
And I don't remember any female to male or anything like that.
Okay. Any animals?
No animals. Okay. No.
Now, see, like I wonder if that period, I wonder if like that might have been like a preview. Did you sense it was a preview of your life
of this body?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think it was, because this is gonna sound stupid, but like my skin was white,
Okay.
So that's obvious.
Yeah,
I'm not a white person.
Problem.
I'm half white. But my skin is not white. But
yeah, it could have. Who knows? No. Could have been a past life. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was a preview. It was like I think it was actually me. Like it was me just changing from old to young. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we can move along. Mm-hmm. So you had that, and then so where will we go to next?
Okay, so again, experiencing just utter bliss, and I felt something behind me just calling me, like just telepathically telling me, like not even words, just come down here, time to come down here. And I kind of like, I remember like, I guess turning around, and looking down, and then seeing 3 beings standing next to a pool. And I was like, when I saw them, I was like, nope, I don't want to go over there because I know what this means. And I was like, no, I don't want to go because I want to be over here. I'm learning, and I'm like, experiencing bliss. I don't want to go over here because I feel like I just instantly knew that I was going to have to leave. So yeah, I was just kind of floating around like, nope, I don't want to go down there. You guys are going to do something. And I was like, no.
You're going to mess with me.
Yeah, you're going to mess with me. I knew it had to do, with me being born, I guess, but I didn't fully get it yet. So at this point in the experience.
Do you think that they're overwhelming you with like a bliss frequency in an effort to almost like drug you to go? Did you get that sense at all?
To get me to go? No, I wasn't. I don't think they were the ones making me experience the bliss yet. I feel like it was just happening. Like in
general. Okay.
Yes. And then what I was experiencing was the overwhelming feeling of being pulled towards them. Like, you come over here. And I was like, no, come over here type of thing. So, and then when I look back at them, that's when I started going towards the pool. And then I was floating down towards the pool, and it was like there was an awning above the pool, and it had like these pillars and columns. It looked like an old Greek statue basically. And again, there was 3 beings, 2 males and 1 female in the middle. I couldn't see their faces. They were just kind of like glowing, like, light coming off their faces. And I loved them. Like it was just like this instant connection. I loved them to death. They loved me. Like we knew each other, and they were just like kind of coaxing me to like, hey, you know, it's just time now. Like, you know, we just got to do this. And I was like, no, I don't want to go. And it was just kind of like this back and forth. Like I didn't get in the water just yet. I was like just talking to them, and I think I even turned around and started floating away again. And then it was just one of those things. Like a best way to describe it is, I think I mentioned in my video, it's like you're getting your, you know, you're trying to get your kid to clean the room, and they want to play just for one last minute before they, you know, clean the room or go to bed. You know, that's what it felt like.
That's a good analogy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the big thing that pops up time and time again is the water, the Greek columns, and its relation to memory.
Yeah.
It's just
really?
crazy how, yeah, I see the data point where, or like it could be symbolic of, oh, you drink the water, or in this case, you get in the water, and memory starts to fade, you know, rapidly, and then that kind of was lining up, even though you said your memories were getting, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but your memories were getting less and less as you went through basically the tube, I think you called it, to get to Earth. So I think it starts with that symbology of the water. For some reason, it just there. But the Greek columns thing is nuts too, because that's all over the place. With
I have a comment. Sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't want to forget that about the columns. I didn't even think it was a thing. You know, I just mentioned, I'm just trying to describe my experience. And then when I discovered your channel, you had posted a picture of like this portal thing, and I lost it, man. I was like, are you serious? Like, this is actually a thing, the columns. And then there was another picture I saw that somebody drew this picture. It's basically like, it's like a floating island.
Yeah, with the water,
like,
and
yes, with the waterfall. That, I swear, that is exactly what this place is.
Damn.
It's just a floating island. There's nothing around it. It's not like a plane, you know, like where, you know, it just goes on and on. No, it's just this little tiny spot.
Wow. Yeah, I know. When you said that, I was like, wow. So I didn't think the picture was that dead on. It was just like,
that's what it is right there. Wow. That's where I was. And when I saw that picture, I just talking about it right now is giving me chills. But I didn't even know that was a thing when I put the video up. So
wild. Yeah. And even the columns and the Greek architecture shows up in NDEs, shows up in some trip reports, some shows up sometimes in shared death experiences a little bit. What was the other thing?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and the past life regressions, life between lives, people talk about it. Or regress. So it's just nuts. I mean, I keep putting forward that they are doing that on purpose to give us this continuity of familiarity between two worlds. So, you know, hey, we leave here. Oh, we remember what Greek columns look back there. So it feels a little more like home, you know, and vice versa. That, you know, you come down here, you see the architecture, depending on where you live, but, you know, everyone's heard of it. Everyone's seen pictures of it. So, yeah, at least that's my theory on it. I don't know.
It's interesting. Yeah, it completely blew me away. And, you know, again, like even with, it's so hard to believe this whole thing. Even with my experience, like I'm kind of blown away by you guys or, you know, some of you guys that haven't experienced, you know, an NDE or a pre-birth. Like if I didn't experience this, I would not believe this at all, period.
Yeah. I think everything kind of goes to, again, that like materialistic upbringing and the religious stuff. It's either one of the two or both. and education system just kind of everything is material, and it's just like it's like totally takes us away from considering this stuff that is, in my opinion, it's just normal stuff. It's just, but it's not normal in the sense of everything, related to the soul trap, but it's normal in the sense of like, okay, it's just part of what happens when you come here. So, and like the paranormal, all that stuff, it's just all part of this experience, but we've been shielded from it on purpose. So we don't go looking.
And even when we do, it's like, I don't even talking here. I don't want to believe it. It's terrifying. It's not. Yeah.
Nobody wants to acknowledge this stuff, man. It's not fun. But the way I kind of put it across is like, once you dive into it, you understand it, and like you're okay with it. Well, not okay with it, but you kind of come to a point of reluctant acceptance. Right. It's a very empowering thing too, because it means that we can finally take back control of our true essence. I mean, what really beats that? It's just that we've been hoodwinked. We've been taken for a ride. And that's it sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, so we were at the pool. You're meeting with the beings. I think I remember you said they had robes, right? Yeah, that's another common thing.
They were all three of them were wearing robes. It was weird, like the male figures that I saw were wearing like darker robes, and the lady in the middle was wearing a white one. Okay. And actually with her, I could see her hair color. She had brown hair. Oh. I remember that too. But as far as any other details, I don't really know. Like I said, they were just like these beings of light, essentially.
Was there any conversations you picked up on? Anything about that? Were they talking about you or anything like that?
Kinda. They were just kind of just saying, "Oh, look at him," and just acknowledging who I am. Like, "Oh, we love him because he's like this and this and that." Like, that's really about it. It was mainly them comforting me because, well, not comforting me. At first, they were just trying to get me to get over to them. And then once I started realizing that, it almost felt like I wasn't going to have a choice. Like they were just going to keep pressing the situation. So they showed me where I was going to go. And this was like the first moment where I felt like terrified, like actually scared. Is when they showed me where they wanted me to go. And it was like, just disgusting. Like this, it wasn't like, it's not like a planet. It's not like, it's just a mass. Like I said in my previous video, it's a bubbling mass of darkness, like evil, pure evil.
Yeah, that was like, wow, when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only way to describe it. Like I said, it's not a planet. It's not a plane. It's just this thing, this bubbling, moving around, just morphing, horrible place that they wanted me to go to. And I was just like, no. And I remember turning around, looking, I'm like, there's no way I'm going down there. There's no way. So, and I was just like, no. And something I didn't mention, I'm almost like reluctant to like even talk about it because it's out there.
Yeah, don't worry. And you're with the right crowd.
Like the only person that knows about this is my wife. So, okay. But anyways, so this is a part that I left out in my video, but like when I was looking at this place, besides all the information that was being poured into me, about this place, this place is full of things that want to eat you, that want to like consume you. And I was just like, I don't want to go to a place like that. Who does? I'm like, if I go down there, if you guys make me go down there, I don't want to deal with those things,
Wow, dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
So that goes to the whole loosh thing.
Yeah, and I don't even. And when I learned about this loosh thing that you guys were talking about, it's not just in like a spirit form. They do it physically too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they have all sorts of different ways they can get at you physically, etherically, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. And I think that was part of the deal I made to come down here. And I was like, if I have to go down there, I'm not dealing with those. Like I don't want to see them. I don't want to, but I want to know about them. I want to be aware. Like I wanted to attain and remember some knowledge I had up there. I was like, I'm not leaving if I'm going to just forget everything. Cause that was obviously already injected into my thought process looking into this place. So,
you know,
yeah.
Did I just want to back up, like with the Earth, like a bubbling black mass of pure evil, like any sort of anything, any way you can describe it all, like any sort of shape or any sort of anything additional you can add to that?
No, there's really no way to describe this, but I can say this. The way my vision changed when they were showing this to me.
Oh,
like my eyesight, like what they did to my vision. Like I remember, okay, there's no way to really describe how it changed, but
and this is before you go in the tunnel, I assume.
Oh yeah, before I got in the water. But when they were showing me like where I was gonna go, it's like have you ever seen those really crazy fisheye videos where it's like a person on a bike, but it looks like they're like riding on a globe? I'd have to show you an example of this weird video effect.
Okay,
it looks like it almost looks like a snow globe.
Okay.
But anyways, my vision got like warped into like this weird like 360 thing, like where I could see everything, and it's just like it where I was gonna go was everywhere. It's not like I said, an object. It's just a thing. It's there, and I don't know.
Gotcha. Now, so it wasn't like something like you're looking down at it, more kind of. Oh, it was.
Yes, it's it's down, it's out. It's like I said, it's like a 360 vision thing. It's like it's down, it's out there, it's forward, it's up, it's to the side, it's huge.
Okay, gotcha. So it kind of like covers like a whole circumference of an area. I gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And as far as I mean, the whole revelation on being eaten, that is huge.
Yep.
I mean, there's just more to add on the pile of evidence that this is going on. And it becomes obvious too when you look around and see how everything works, and that everything eats, everything dies, everything feeds off one another, and yet we're humans, we're the top of the food chain, and nothing's eating us. Nothing could possibly be happening like that. But everything below us, they're the exception. We're the exception.
Yeah. If you think about it, that right there is the reason why the whole system is easily, the reason why people are so blinded by it. Because I'm telling you, so not to go too crazy off topic, but when I was researching this stuff back in the day, hopping on these forums about pre-birth, I did stumble upon this soul trap thing. And I instantly it was one of those moments I was like, that's enough internet for the day. There's no way that's happening. Backspace. Like, I was like, there's no way. And that's when I shut it off. I was like, I'm not going down that one. Cause if it's real, it's horrifying. So I think that's why the whole thing it's easy to be fooled, basically, was my point.
Sure, sure. Yeah. I mean, and again, you don't want to come face to face with something like that. It's
No
not
way.
easy. I mean, there's a lot of other sick truths in this world, but then like the whole thing being a grand scheme. I mean,
Because
it's just
yeah,
not easy.
think about it. I thoroughly enjoy eating steaks.
Mhm.
So if there's something out there that enjoys like eating me, that's just it's scary.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah. So
I don't like this part of the whole thing. Like,
no,
it's uncomfortable to talk about.
I understand. I understand. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, we'll move past that. But thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that.
of course.
So, all right. So I guess we'll pick up where we left off, where you
Okay.
told your wife that, and then
Mhm.
I guess, yeah.
So, yep. So I'm discovering this place that I'm supposed to go to, and at this point I am fighting it, saying no, 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 no way. I'm not going to go. And that's when we were doing like a back and forth, with me and the guide, like saying it's okay, it's going to be really fast, and then it's going to be really quick, to us up here, it's going to be a blink of an eye and you'll come back, so that was my perception of time down there. I'm like, okay, I get that. Like down there, it's like, it feels like forever, like a long time when we're here, but up there, it's like a fraction of a second. It's not even a fraction. There is no second. It's just,
No time, yeah.
it's hard to describe that, but
It's easy for them to say too.
right. Yeah. For them. Exactly. It's like,
You're
oh,
not.
you'll be right
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not the ones experiencing it.
Yeah. And, so they were just sort of just comforting me at this point. And just, we were going back and forth, looking at this hellhole, looking back at them, just comforting me, reassuring me. And I was kind of looking back at the mass and like figuring out like what time zone I wanted to, or, what year I wanted to be here, what my body, my life, like what my life was going to be like, they were showing me options basically. I could be, really, I could be rich, famous and have basically no worries at all. It's like a vacation. But I can't retain my memories. And it's going to be harder to get back there is what they said. It'll be harder to come back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That was a huge moment for me when I heard you say that, because it shows that you had to make a trade-off to retain those memories, and basically say, and they're saying, oh, well, okay, if you want to remember this, you're going to have a shittier life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the translation, in my opinion. I mean, you're going to be less comfortable. It doesn't mean you're having a shitty life. It just means that you're not going to be as comfortable, instead of being rich and it being more or less of like a cakewalk, whatever that is down here. Yeah. I mean, that just shows utter manipulation in my eyes. Like, why? 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 I mean, there's no logic to that.
Yep. Yep. So that's the deal, right? And then, and you pick a shittier life, quote unquote, right? But there's worse. Like what I picked was in the middle, and it's still hard. I'll just put it that way. Like the life that I chose, I still wanted it kind of like where I'm not like, bottom of the barrel. But the options that I saw were like way worse, man, so it could get really bad. So I picked, this life. I picked my body. I picked everything.
Pick the least worst options, basically.
Yep, pretty much.
So, do you think with do you recall any reasoning why you picked this time period?
Yeah.
Okay.
something else I didn't really talk about in the video, but I picked this one because this is like a really cool time to be alive, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, if you're gonna pick a cool time, right? But it's because don't know if this is 100% like for sure. Like I can say everything without a doubt is, that I'm saying is from my memory. This part right here, I'm not so sure, but
Okay.
I think it's because the end of the world, like I wanted to witness the end of the world.
I thought so. That's kind of what I thought you were going to say. Yeah.
So I think that's why. And I'm like, and that's another weird aspect of this whole thing. I'm like, I'm the type of person that would pick that, I'm like a rebellious person.
Me too.
I'm pretty, every job I've ever had is like, intense. And I've just, I'm kind of an extreme person. So it wouldn't surprise me that I would pick something like that.
Sure. And other people have said this too. So that's why I asked it. I thought you might say that. I didn't. Yeah. We never talked about it before.
Nope,
but
we haven't.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So did you any other feelings or thoughts related to that at all?
The time? No, just that it's a cool time. There's technology and it's better than being like, in the dark ages, like
sure.
It's a chill time, and I guess it's probably one of the coolest times, I guess, but that's about it.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you're picking out your body, location, time zone. What about like anything? Did you see anything about job selection, career decisions, or any sort of major moments in your life that actually came to fruition down here when you were here, or while you're here?
Not in detail. I just knew I was going to be like a laborer type. I knew I was going to have like a physically hard job, and that's it. Nothing in detail. It was very brief. Picking my life was so brief. It was almost instantaneous. Again, trying to describe the time is you can't do it. So, but as far as my career goes, it was very brief. I knew I was gonna be a laborer, and that's it.
Okay. Was there anything shown to you about potential lifespan?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I don't usually see that off. I was just curious. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add to that related to picking out your life before you came? Anything you could think of that maybe?
I don't think I have much more to add on that. Okay. It was very brief. It was brief. Again, I just picked my mom, picked everything else. And I was like
TV
all right.
screens? Was it like, were you
No,
looking at things?
Mental.
Okay.
It was mental.
Okay. Yeah.
Mental imagery. Like it was coming back so rapidly, and it was just like it was almost like, don't even want to say the word fate. It was just, I picked it, but it was like there was no other option anyways, because that's who I was going to be.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
I'm trying my best to put this into words. It's
sure.
not easy.
Yeah, no, that's very common. Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to see the movie Soul?
No.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's a Disney Pixar film. I highly recommend that. You might connect with something in that movie.
I'm sure.
Because it shows a lot of interesting things that correlate with research. So it's
wow.
It's definitely worth a watch. Another one you might want to check out is Defending Your Life, but that's you see, you might pick up something in that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna be straightforward about that. Like movies and video games, I feel like I pick something out of everything. Like I feel like there's evidence everywhere.
It is. There is.
And it's even more apparent ever since I stumbled upon you guys, and I'm just like, it's just ridiculous. It's everywhere.
It is. It's I don't really like going down the whole end of the world thing. I don't.
Mhm.
But because the way I see it is, it's like whatever the hell is going to happen, it's going to happen. I mean, I don't live in fear every day. It's just not me. But some people do, and they let it run their life, and there's no way. It's not any way to live. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's it. It's over when it's over, and it's till then. Enjoy the ride as best you can.
Yeah.
But where the heck was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Anyways, yeah, I lost my train of thought on that. Anyways, okay. We'll move along.
Yeah, I'm the
Might
same
come
way.
back to me.
Yep.
Oh,
It's a lot to cover.
yeah, speaking of, this is something that stood out to me in your video. You were talking about, like, these memories are so solid, so ingrained in me that I know they happened. Yet I can't remember where I left my car keys. Earlier. I can't remember, all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, exactly. It's like that's what all these people say I've experienced. It's like the most real thing they've ever experienced. The memory's solid. It's firm. There's nothing. there's no. It's not a dream. It's not could have happened, maybe happened. Oh yeah, it did happen. I thought that was an interesting thing that you mentioned.
It's incredibly vivid, and it's okay. So that's why that place is. They make you want to go back so much because it's beautiful. It feels so good, and it's real. The reality is so, like, when you're here, even when you're as awake as you possibly could be, this place. The colors, everything about it is like a sleep. It's like a dream world. It's dreaming. When you're awake, you're actually dreaming. This place is so dull and nullified that's why that memory has stuck out to me more than any memory. Period.
Yeah,
it's just.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can. It's just the most vivid memory. So.
And that's what other experiencers say, and you say it all the time. It's the most real thing they've ever experienced, realer than real. This place is, they'll say it's like a virtual reality or an illusion or whatever however they're going to term it. And they always say that when they go to the astral, the other side, whatever you want to call it, it's the most real thing, way more real than this.
I have a good analogy for it. It's the best way to describe this reality. That feeling you get when you're falling asleep and you cannot stay awake, and you're trying really hard to stay awake, like with every fiber of your being. That's what this is like compared to that.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, where were we? All right. How about where did we leave off?
Okay. So yeah, I got it. So I picked my life, and then it was, you're going now, I was like, okay, here we go. You guys, again, they were just, I was feeling an overwhelming sense of love and like safety when I decided to come. So, that's when I got in the water. I was inside the water. Well, actually, no, I floated around again, and then came back. I made the deal. So then I went into the water, and then when I was inside of the water felt amazing. Like when I got inside, it just felt like, again, more just, that's when the blissfulness got heightened even more, probably the peak, like just feeling like unbelievably good. Like, here we go. Just getting in the water. Just, oh man, I'm so comfortable. I love this feeling so much. I can't wait to come back, and it was just kind of like saying our goodbyes and I love yous, and just just like pure, just love, back and forth, back and forth.
And it was with those three entities only, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And just to make a quick point before I finish, that love is so powerful that even though I'm questioning everything about this whole situation, it's still like I still feel for them. These things that are most likely abusing me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how powerful this love, this love is. Yeah, no, go ahead, Mark.
Okay, like the other way you can look at it, Harold, is, we've all fallen for this illusion. We voluntarily came here at some point and kind of just lost ourselves along the way. And the way I look at what's going on in the astral is no different. Yeah. There are entities that truly believe in what's going on, and they work at the behest of it. So so it doesn't even necessarily mean that that their love is faulty. Yeah, because they truly could love you. They could feel that what they're doing is on the up and up and right, and there could be that exchange of energy, but they don't realize the bigger picture themselves. And so in turn, it's like one big grand,
that is
deception.
So reassuring. That's so reassuring, man. It really is. But yeah. So I think that realization is that they are possibly not my friends has been probably the hardest one for me to like accept. I'm just like, really? It's like, being betrayed by your loved ones, it's not okay.
No.
But
and
that's really reassuring.
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, I think that's how we really should look at it, because I question what's going on exactly, like at death, when like loved ones come and visit. Okay. Yeah. To many extents, I'm more leaning towards the whole thing just being like like an illusion, but it's well, everything's the illusion, but it's kind of linked into the frequency of our experience with them, because every single moment of every single day is recorded, or retained within the system and within us and out there, that they can easily manipulate us that way. But at the same time, a lot of it could be real, and it could depend on the scenario too. Like maybe some are real, some are bull. And, we still, family, friends, pets, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, whoever, God, all these things that are portraying themselves as something could fall under the same category, where they're all just in this mass illusion and falling for it at the behest of like a very, very maybe minute group or single person. I mean, just the fact that there's all these different gods, I mean, that's crazy in and of itself. Endless gods here and in the astral. So where the fogginess and those being lost start, and where the parasites begin is it's just impossible to know.
Yep.
So okay, so cool. So yeah, man, it doesn't mean they didn't love you, or that they don't love you.
Yeah.
So all right, so where are we headed next?
Okay. So saying our goodbyes, I'm in the water, and then feeling good, and then that's when I felt like I was being flushed, like I was being sucked into a tube.
Okay.
At like a crazy speed. And that's like when I started getting scared again. Cause again, remember, like they were reassuring me. So I felt good after I saw where I was going. And then, as I was getting sent down, that's when the fear kicked in like big time. And because I was like, oh, I'm going towards the place I didn't want to go to. Here we go. And then the reassurance is not really here anymore. And then it started fading away. I could still feel him. I could still kind of hear him, but it's like fading away. You know, I'm just getting further and further away. And the further and further I got, the more my knowledge of that place was starting to disappear. Like it started to fade, like all the answers and all that knowledge I had was going and just dissipating. And then started speeding up even more, and then bam, I'm inside what I now know was my mother's womb. And what I was experiencing in the womb was like feeling really claustrophobic. Like I was like, oh, like I just wanted to get out. You know, I was like, I'm in this hot place and it's tiny. I can't, I could see a very like a little bit, but what I was seeing was like the back of my eyelids. You know, like when you got your eyes shut, and you can still see light through it. And that was it. And at that point, when I was experiencing that, the knowledge of that place was pretty much gone. So it was just, now I was just baby, and then cramped up, claustrophobic, and that's it. And then I remember.
Carrie Butler says, the tube you could have gone down are like equivalent to the fallopian tubes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, Carrie.
I never thought of that. Wow.
It's maybe symbolic.
And then being in water too, right? I mean, being submerged in water, and then that's like you're submerged in water inside the womb too.
That keeps that, keeps the memory wipe process going. So, or at least maybe it's initiating more. It could even, I mean, because water even has as a memory, it could be part of like planting the seed, so to say, of like your life script maybe, or you're like encoding the body maybe with like whatever you're supposed to do. Maybe it's like a maturing process over time until you're born, and then onward. I don't know, just some things that's interesting. Yeah. So
and that's where the memory ends, Mark. It's just right there, and then the memory has always been there. Like I don't remember much of my being a kid, bits and pieces here. I remember Ninja Turtles when I was about 5 or 6. Ninja Turtles. That's when I was really becoming conscious, is when Ninja Turtles came around. But before Ninja Turtles was this. So it's just kind of one of those things.
It's amazing how that works. I have fragmented memories of my childhood too. It's very, very strange to not know that. But it also kind of with children who have, these. We'll talk about like them being reincarnated in a past life, or being reincarnated here, having, maybe like, I talk to like child talks to their mother and say, oh, I was your mother last time, or some random thing they spit out that, doesn't make sense, or is odd, but kind of implies some sort of past life involvement within the same family, or maybe a different family, or a location, etc. And there's like this sweet spot of like ages, like 3-ish to about 6, 7 on the far end, and then it just boom, they forget it. Like they check in with some of these children who talk about their past lives in those moments, those ages, and then they'll check back with them, like in their teens, and they don't remember a damn thing about it,
and it's gone,
it's totally wiped out.
Wow.
And it's not even that many years later. After teenager, we're talking about what, maybe 10 years.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's something about that time period where we just don't have proper recollection, and we're also in like a different brain state too, so that has something to do with it.
Absolutely. And that's it. That makes me instantly think about just it's like these different moments in our lives. When I was that orb, I was old, teenager and a baby at the same time. Like they're like these milestones, you know? Yeah.
All right. So that was awesome, Harold. I really appreciate you sharing that
thank
with
you,
us.
Man. Thank you.
All right. So what we'll do, Harold, is we're about at the hour mark. We'll just take about a 5-minute break, and we'll come back. So do what you want to do for a few minutes, and I'll see you back here in a moment. If you could just please mute your mic, I'd appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you. See you shortly. Thanks everybody.
Okay.
See you in a moment. patience. We are back. Okay, so we're going to move along to the second segment with Harold today and kind of get an idea about his spiritual journey once he's gotten here, from memories he can remember as a child up to current day. So,
Okay.
Harold, welcome back. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. So let me get the questions. Oh, you know what? Really quickly, excuse me. I wanted to pop up a picture of what we were talking about.
Oh, cool.
You know, of the. You know, I'll send this to you on Discord too.
Okay.
So you got a copy of what Harold said he.
Oh my! Like every time I see it, I get chills, man. Like without clouds, just blackness all around it, and yeah, that's it right there. That's it. Oh, okay. Here's a detail too. Sure. It was nighttime and daytime at the same time. There was sunlight out.
Whoa. Like
it was light out, you know, especially like when I went into the water and everything. But when I went to go look out at, you know, at Earth, that's when it was like dark and night.
Wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, that amazes me that the picture was that accurate.
That is the place right there.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
whoever drew that has some kind of knowledge of the place, has experienced it or something, because that's it right there.
Yeah, maybe hunt down the artist and see what they might recall.
Hey, do you remember me? Here we are.
I was there too.
Yeah.
All right. So, excuse me. All right. You don't have to say your exact age, Harold. Roughly, how old are you?
I'm 36.
36. Okay.
No shame in the game.
Okay. Well, some people don't like it. Have you felt since a young age that you didn't belong here?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Kind of
absolutely. Yep. In all aspects, like just I'm happy-go-lucky. Everyone else is miserable. You know, it's just I've never. And then I just feel like I in regards to just the way I thought, the way I look too, was the obstacle that was given to me, you know, because I'm half black and half white, and race to me doesn't exist, but to everyone else, it exists, you know?
It's so crazy.
So for me, it's just like a double whammy. So not only am I kind of, you know, eccentric, I have that going against me too. So, but never fit in anywhere.
Yeah, the whole race thing is so freaking ridiculous. So, and how they just stoke the fire constantly. One of the
NPC behavior.
Exactly. I forgot who it was. I think it was Morgan Freeman. Was interviewed about race sometime like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they asked him something about racism, and they're like, how do you think we can get a hold of racism in this country? And he's like, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Stop. That was an iconic moment. Flames. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Please stop. For the love of God, just stop.
Man, I mean, I went to public school and around all different races, and we all got along just fine. There was no like hatred or anything. And then it seems like everything kind of changed almost like right after I got out of high school. It like just got way worse. Like, so it was better. And it's like now the system like just pushes this race card constantly and divides us. And that's what it's all about too. Just, to divide and conquer. Exactly. But exactly. That's the name of the game.
Yep.
Place us in our little boxes so we can't unite and stand up for ourselves as a whole.
You can't wake up if you're always fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Such so childish. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Was there any traumatic incidents as a child in which you wish to share or caused you to leave your body during some moments like that? Trauma seems to be a very common thread, but amongst a lot of us that wake up. But I think in general, as a whole, in this realm that we live in, it seems par for the course. It's just varying degrees, you know. So
yeah. I most definitely have had traumatic experiences as a kid, but that triggered an out-of-body experience? No.
Yeah, or sometimes it does. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I've always been right in the flesh, experiencing all the BS, but I have had an out-of-body experience, multiple out-of-body experiences, but not related to trauma.
Okay. So yeah, we could go off of that actually.
Yeah.
Out-of-body experiences. What do you got to say on those? Nice.
Constantly.
Nice. Is it easy for you to get out of body?
No, I have no control over it at all whatsoever. The only time I've done it on purpose was a time I took a lot of shrooms.
Okay.
And I had an out-of-body experience. It was amazing. And it was the last time I did shrooms too, because it was actually scary at the same time.
How many grams did you take?
Oh my God. So at the time I was probably like 19. Yeah. So again, a long time ago, I'm 36, but I did, a little punk rock self. I did a whole eighth to just by myself on an empty stomach. And I weighed about, and I went, at the time I weighed like 120 pounds. So yeah, let's just say it shot me to the moon. But that's the only time I did it on purpose. But multiple times I've had out of body experiences. One of the ones, well, they all end the same. But one of the ones that stands out to me the most, that was the most vivid, was just it was actually kind of a dark time in my life. But one thing I remember is just I'm shooting straight towards the moon. And I could feel everything. It was like I was actually flying. It was actually me. It wasn't a dream. Like I was, it was real. And I'm just, like rocketing towards this moon just so fast. I could hear the wind blowing past my ears. I could feel the air outside. And I was just, the more I concentrated, I could fly faster and faster. Like I was controlling it, like freaking Superman, like Neo. I was controlling it. I was like, here we go, just flying. And then it was cool at first. And then once I started getting closer to the moon, it started I felt my body starting to pull back, I guess. Oh. And then it was like a rubber band where I snapped back into my body, like boom, instant. And I heard like the crash and, everything was shaking. So that's how they all end the same. Like every time I have an out of body experience, like the bed will shake. Like I come back and the bed's vibrating, and then I snap back into my body.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. So it was like almost like you've gone too far. Go back to your body. Did you think that you were thinking that yourself? Like, or do you feel it was more, did you get any sort of telepathic communication while that was happening?
No, just me.
Okay. Interesting.
And I got one more experience to add when it's as far as out of body. And this one's kind of weird. This involves my wife. Okay. And this is, I'm like, it's just so strange, man. Okay. So this one, I don't even remember. It happens so often, right? But again, I snap back into my body. I have an out-of-body experience, and the bed's vibrating, and my wife wakes up startled too, like, what the heck? And she feels the bed vibrating.
Oh.
So we were just like, oh, the bed's vibrating. And we're both like half awake. We're like, what's happening? It was just like, we were both scared. We're like, what? You know, when you're just kind of half awake.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what's going on? You know, the bed's vibrating, and then it just stops. And we're just like, that was weird. Good night. And then, you know,
Wow.
go back to sleep. But yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So it's almost like a shared experience in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. So, any other ones that kind of stand out? Those?
For out of body, no.
Okay.
Those were the main ones. No.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. Let's see. What was the topic or topics that triggered the start of your journey? I mean, obviously, I think it might be kind of self-explanatory because you have your pre-birth experience. You kind of came in here with that. So,
yeah.
Was there anything like later on in life?
Nope. It's been with me the entire time. I've just always wrestled with what happened to me because, again, brought up in a religious family, it doesn't jive with with what we're taught. Again, if this place is heaven, why was I petrified? You shouldn't be scared or petrified in heaven. So this has been like a thing that's a battle in my head that's been going on this whole time. I'm just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because heaven is portrayed in a certain way, and it's like, oh, they're giving you all this love, but at the same time, you're scared. You're terrified. That was the word you used in your video.
Like, why is this left out in scripture? It's just, it makes no sense. So. Yeah, that's why I'm here, Mark. That's right. It's just I can't deny it. I was there, so I know this place exists. I know it happened to me. So
nice. Good. It's great that we have people like yourself to share these things with everybody. It's really, really important. Yeah, and I'm glad you put that video out, man.
I know, isn't that crazy? It wasn't my intention. It wasn't my intention to find this, though. What I was trying to do is connect with other pre-birthers, just so I could be like, am I, not the only one out there that has experienced this? Just trying to connect with people, I guess.
So with that intention out there, have you made any connections with anyone meaningful that has shared their experience? I mean, I know your comment section is amazing, and I highly suggest everyone check out. You said you don't have access to the account anymore, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
it's just sitting there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop up a link. I think it's in the description, but if not, I'll pop a link up in here during the chat, and I'll also make sure it's pinned in the comment section as well, so you guys can go over and listen to the video he posted from 2019, and then check out the comment section. It's filled with people who are sharing their experiences, and that's kind of like what all these experiences go to. Like I talk about this all the time. It's like, oh well, someone may be selling a book and doing this and doing that, but okay, you want to discount someone's experience, fine, go ahead. You want to discount the person on screen who's sharing their experience, go for it. But then you go and you read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of comments of people below the comment section sharing their experiences who have zero to gain, nothing to gain, no skin in the game, no books, no videos, no websites, no speaking tours, no conferences, and they're just sharing their experience because they were like you, Harold. Like, you put out the video in hopes to connect with more people who you can relate with, who have had a similar experience, and that's what most people do. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, that the comment sections are incredible. I can't tell you guys how often I go and digging around those comment sections, and you'll see, multiple paragraphs, multiple pages of experience after experience after experience. And it's just, there's so much out there. And those are stories that are usually not even submitted. Like they're not put on the near-death sites or the pre-birth sites or the life between lives site. I mean, it's just, there's just so many. And that's where we see the patterns pop up, the data points over and over and over and over again. That show like a mechanism to all this. Like it's very ABC. And, everyone has, their free will to an extent. Yeah. And their life script and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, there's just certain things, just like you pointed out in your video, Harold. Like, there's just things that pop up time and time again across, like, the pre-birth community who discuss these things.
Same goes for even the near-death experiencers. Sometimes when they say things, I'm just like, wow. Like, I don't remember any past lives or... but when they talk about things like when they're like, when they talk about that 360 vision, I'm just like, oh, I was like, oh, I remember that. And then they talk about these like golden light beings. I'm like, oh, I remember that. And then and every time they talk about stuff and I'm just like, oh, I remember that too. Like, well, here's one thing that really tripped me out. It was about like when you're about to go and you're about to pass away, the last thing to go is your hearing.
Yes.
And when I heard that, I was like, have I died before? Because that sounds familiar. Like have I experienced this?
Oh, wow. So you connected with that.
I did. And I'm like, man, did I? Yeah. But that's it. That is different from my actual memory. That's just like when I read people's experiences, I'm like, man, that sounds familiar, but it's not the exact same as my pre-birth memory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It's just like you're just connecting with something that seems like you've gone through it before.
Yeah.
I mean, just even people who have like deja vu and I mean, all sorts of really the more basic things in day-to-day existence. Yeah, it's I mean, there's certain things that like it was kind of like that with me for the whole soul trap thing. I talked about this a number of times. I actually talked about the hearing thing being the last thing to go, and like how having something like your voice playing like on an MP3 or in your phone, your CD player, whatever, like sovereignty, liberation, whatever, whatever you feel is best for you. Just kind of keep the eye on the prize.
Extra insurance.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and then you're putting your intention into making the track and recording yourself and saying the things that you are intent on making sure happens and all that stuff. So I mean, there's also like the energy exchange involved with that too. Like you're putting yourself into it by wanting to do it because it's so important to you. That makes it like more elevated as a creator being, in my opinion. So,
and to harp on that a little bit, you were before. What were you talking about? I don't know if it was you, but what were they saying so I basically resonated with this big time when somebody said, I think it was somebody in chat said, when you go, you're going to remember everything, especially like, and now like it was you that said it. You said, if you find out about the trap now, I don't know if you said you're pretty much good, but you have a good chance of getting out because you have to learn it in this life. So if you learn it while you're alive, when you pass, you're just, everything's going to come rushing back. You're going to remember everything. And that resonated with me because as a spirit being, again, you're incredibly intelligent. So like you will remember, and it's almost like you won't even worry. You won't be scared. You won't be none of that. You're just going to feel great. And you're just going to be like, later.
Yeah.
But
peace.
So like, I'm basically harping on having the extra insurance. It's kind of like, yeah, you can do that. But if you don't have that at the time when you pass, you're going to be okay. Because
don't sweat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I think all that really matters is the intention. Like, the only thing I tell people when they listen to the channel or go and look at Wayne's work or Dan's work, it's like kind of get to the point where you see the mechanisms, the deception of what's going on, and get to a point where you reluctantly accept what's going on, so that going forward, living in your day-to-day life, it is like your intention is firm. It's unrelenting. It's like everything is sovereignty and liberation when I'm out of here, and that's it, and I'm still going to go and enjoy my day-to-day life and have a good time and try to be as happy and as content as possible. But at the same time, I'm keeping my eye on the prize. That's it. Yeah. So,
and ever since I again discovered you guys, and I'm good. I went through that. I was asking you before we started streaming what's that called? I have to pull it up. It was like the Dark Soul.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dark Night of the Soul.
Dark Night of the Soul. I experienced that big time. Like it was, I couldn't even sleep for like a day or two. It was like really bad. Like everything just crashing down. I'm like, man, I can't deny this. I just can't. There's no denying it, and
it's all there.
That's
just sad thing. It's just,
and then just after there. A little bit, just dealing with that, I'm like, I'm good. I've been through worse,
Damn right, brother. Damn right.
So I got over it, and just everything's great.
Yeah. Good for you, man. So that is awesome to hear. I love it. Yeah. And that's what I hope everyone in the chat kind of comes to. It's like, you get over the hump, and I know some of the humps can last a little longer for others, or a little, Harold, you got it in a few days. That's great. Mine was a little longer than that, I'll be honest, but it was all, it's all right. It's just I equate it to like for many, like it's like the stages of grief, like you had your view of reality here, and then it was just just taken down many notches, and then you kind of got to rebuild and then get your footing. But it's the everything's like so empowering once you realize just how powerful you are, and that it's like it's our time to control ourselves, take ourselves back, and say enough is enough. I like the way I see it is like, my contribution is here now on this channel, and just like you're doing today, that's your contribution. We're all just kind of putting things out there, saying think about it, stand in your sovereignty and liberation, but still enjoy yourself while you're here. As screwed up as things are, remember it's all about like what's going on in your immediate reality. Don't consume bullshit outside, like news and this Ukraine, all this crap.
No,
it's just it's so
you can't do anything about it.
Waste. It's a way. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go into the battlefield. I'm not gonna, whatever that is. Okay, we'll leave that one alone.
Yeah. And I'm sure for you too, even though you're content with it, like myself, it does come back in waves. I'm sure. Sometimes it's like, crap, I'm here. Sometimes I'm cool, like, I'm comfortable, and I'm like, oh yeah, something shocks my system. I'm like, crap, but
yeah, absolutely. That's what this overall, reality does. Yeah.
Like you said, it's empowering. Sometimes I laugh at the chat. Just like, I see some people, like a lot of these guys are on the same wavelength, but they're just like, why don't we just, like, when we get out, we destroy the whole thing, and that crosses my mind often. But like you, it's like, do you want to risk it? like
Yeah.
for the biscuit. I don't know.
No way. No way.
I don't
I
want
see
to,
it all the time.
Yep, because you remember now. So what if next time you're not so lucky, you don't have the internet, or you're just gonna be,
And the other thing is like, if you look at Buddhism, you look at Gnosticism, you look at Hinduism, they're all kind of weaving in and out of the same concept. Okay, that the whole point is to like you figure out this place is dumpster fire, there's agendas going on, and you basically have to liberate yourself. Okay, granted, they are traps in and of themselves, but they allude to the truth in a way. Okay, they're the closest you're going to get in the mainstream, at least in my opinion. So with that, like, these things have been around for how long, regardless of whatever the narrative is for history.
Yeah, what is time, right? Time is...
Yeah. There seems to be a system that is very intricate. It's been set in stone for quite a long time, probably longer than we can possibly fathom. And for us to think that somebody else or some group of other entity or true essence beings out there have not thought about taking this place down is just insane to me. It must have, it's probably been attempted. And what would the reality do? It's going to provide that illusion. There is no taking this place down. It's standing up for yourself and going about your day and hightailing it out of here at the time of natural death. I was in that, furious anger, like I want to destroy it for a while. And then I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. It's like actually the most counterproductive thing you can think to do, because who's it going to hurt in the end? Only you. There's really no positive to it, because you don't know if it can happen. And if, again, I always try to put my shoes in the parasites agenda and how they work. Like, if I was them and I was a sick little bastard, then I would set it up in a way where okay, here, let's provide the illusion. Here, you're fighting this system, you're taking him down, you're liberating him. Oh, and then, however many years go by in the astral realm or whatever, then all of a sudden,
there's that light again.
Time to reincarnate.
What's that light?
Yeah, what's over there? No, hell no.
Yeah.
This is a solo journey through and through to the end. I mean, there is, in my opinion, there is absolutely no wiggle room in there. There's just not. I cannot.
I feel you on that.
Grasp it.
Sometimes I think, like, there's a being that comes and talks to me. I want to ask it questions like, why are you doing this and all this? But I'm like, no, because I have felt that love bomb. And let me tell you, there's no overcoming that.
It's powerful.
Yeah, there isn't.
Yeah. That's what we see all the time. It's like a drug. It's like a drug. And I think this experience is almost like a drug too. And then it kind of loops with the astral and then, like, and then of course, when I hear mothers who have NDEs say that the love they felt during an NDE was like stronger than the birth of their own children or the day they got married. People, they'll give you the pinnacle. Any NDE will give you the pinnacle moment and say, times that by 1,000, 10,000, 100, whatever. And that just shows you that how powerful it is. It's nuts.
Yeah, nuts. It's again, no words can describe it. And I think I actually mentioned that in my original video, but didn't mention it this time. But that's the way the love feels. I don't like even mentioning it, because it's like, I love my son, I love my daughter, love my wife so much. I don't like saying, like, the love you feel there is even more, but it is, can't describe it.
It makes it sound like, oh, you're
like you don't love your kids.
No. There was women who had NDEs during pregnancy, Literally during the birth, they give birth to a child, have an NDE, and they say that they had that loving moment, and then they're still saying that, oh, I had the NDE shortly after, and it's still more love than that. I mean, imagine like having that experience back to back,
unbelievable,
within the same moment. It's just like, wow.
Yep,
it's crazy stuff, man.
I have a question for you, and I'd be mad if I didn't ask it. Do you know of any instances where two people pass away at the exact same time, and they see each other, they could talk to each other and then go back into their bodies? Has that ever happened where two people in the same space pass away?
That's an interesting one. No, I don't think I recall ever seeing something like that. I could ask the audience. Anyone in the chat ever see something like that?
And the reason why I ask is because I'm like, if my wife and I, like, if something happens and we both go together at the same time, like, can we, hold hands and hightail it out of here? Or
I still see the way I think in the end,
gotta be careful, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because the way I see it is like it could be set up in a way where, you may die at the same time, but maybe the system sets up like an image of her that feels very real, feels like it's her. You think you're going with her, or whoever, and I mean, it's
another one of those risky things, huh?
Yeah, it is. But like one of the things, I was actually just talking about this today with someone on Discord. I truly, truly think, and I want everyone to seriously think about this. I think when we leave here, like, our memories will come in, we'll have access to our existence, like before Earth, while we were here on Earth, and who else, wherever else we've traversed within the multiverse, okay, and have a good idea of our strengths, our weaknesses, our where we can be like exploited, and our powers, like just how far they go, which they seemingly go very far. Wow. And the only thing I keep telling people is like, okay, just do everything sovereign, liberated, and go about, your intention is to kind of leave this matrix completely on your own, to your own, like, equivalent of like your own bubble reality, where you're also shielded up, where there's like nothing can audibly, telepathically, visually, nothing can insert itself in your world. And then you're going to kind of your own realm that's impenetrable. Nothing can get through to that realm. And then just, I mean, it's so crazy to say, take your time when time doesn't exist. But that's the best thing I can say is like, just give yourself some time to get those memories back, to figure yourself out. And then if things seem cool, you realize, okay, like, this is what I did. This is a situation I put myself in to get to Earth, and I screwed up in this way. I learned from that. Or like other realms, who knows? Maybe we've done this in all sorts of other realms and fallen for tricks. Who knows? But that doesn't mean that we can't connect with friends, loved ones, etc. Once we've reached that kind of realization, but I really think us figuring out the strengths and weaknesses are, how far this creator being abilities extends and how it can be exploited is really, really key. To just playing it safe. Like, I'm a proponent of playing everything as completely safe as possible. So yeah, that's really my answer. But who's to say you can't reunite? Who's to say we all can't reunite with those that we care about and those that are, are peaceful, loving, accepting beings that are not parasites and not out to screw us over or lure us into something that we don't want to be involved with.
It's funny. My wife and I had that exact conversation, and we were just like, no, we both agreed it's probably not worth it, because how do we know?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
you're really lucky to be able to have that.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. I want to give a special thanks to Synthmind for the super chat. Thank you so much, very much appreciated. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Do you prefer to be around people more, or would you rather be alone?
I am very, very picky, in particular, who I spend my time with now as I get older. I used to just, hang around people all the time, and then just gave myself too much of myself to people. So I think if it's around the right people, I love being around people. I love being around people that are positive and like-minded. But they have to go through a filter process now. I'm very weary about who I let into my space now.
Yeah. I think that's really the way to go. I remember my grandfather saying, if you can count your friends on one hand, you're a lucky man. And and the more the more I grow older, the more I find that to be the case. I think you got to be really, really picky. And then the other thing is the NPC thing. Regardless of how big that whole thing goes, I mean, I think they absolutely exist, but just how massive that problem is, or how and NPCs could just be extremely degraded and lost souls that are just have been coming time and time again, and they're just going to kind of insert themselves into your world, into your life script, and cause chaos or problems. And so I think being aware of those things are important. That doesn't mean you should isolate and not be social and get out and enjoy yourself. It just means be careful. That's all.
Absolutely.
Be aware. That's it.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, today I was out and about, I went to a car show before the show. I still do things. I play music. But yeah, I'm very particular because my tolerance for negativity is a 0 now. The older I get, my friends are shrinking, family, that's shrinking too, having to cut people out there. But again, I have a lot of love to give, so I still have an open mind. I know there's good people out there, so I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, there's plenty of great people. Yeah, and it's just a matter of aligning yourselves with them and just watching out for your own ass. That's it. How has your desire for truth, morals, and ethics changed over time?
No, it's always been fierce. I've always been a truth seeker, trying to figure out every aspect of this reality. It's always been fiery, to say the least. Nice. I guess that's the best. And what was after that? You said just as far as seeking truth, and what was the question?
Let's see. Has your desire for truth, morals, and ethics changed over time?
Okay. Yeah. No, it hasn't. Like I said, it's just been fierce. My ethics, morals have always been the same. I can't, I'm very firm and strong in my beliefs, pretty much.
Nice. Figured as much. Yeah. What are your thoughts on NPCs? We're just talking about them.
NPCs.
Or do you think they exist?
Yeah, I do. I really, really do. I think what my understanding of what NPCs are, some people can even seem like they're NPCs. but they're not. They're just asleep in the system. They're comfortable because, again, like, ignorance is bliss. It's easier to not look down and look at all the scary stuff because it's scary for people. So their coping mechanism is just to simply follow the norm and be accepted within the system. Exactly. But they still have souls. Like, there's still glimpses, of good people. But I think a true NPC is something that, and they can do bad things and be toxic and all that stuff, but they're still there. Yeah. But then there's real NPCs that are absolutely soulless, like, creatures, like there's barely any soul left in there, and they're just absolute monsters, and sometimes you'll know when you meet them. When you just talk to certain people, you're like, you just feel it that this person is pure evil. That to me is an NPC.
I agree. Yeah. There's the difference between those that are lost and those that are just straight up, diabolical NPC types. Yeah.
I can see them now. Like, now I have people in my bloodline that are NPCs, and just horrendous to be around. You can see them if you pay attention.
I agree, man. Well said. What are your thoughts on love and self-love?
Love and self-love. I just think love is natural. It's love. That's what we are. We are love. We're pure. Love is what we really are. That's what our true essence is. It's love. And I think self-love is just kind of like the same thing, you have to love yourself if you're going to love anybody else. So, I think, that's why self-love is incredibly important. Because if you can't love yourself, you're not going to be able to offer anything to anybody else, but yeah, love is what we are.
Yeah. If you can't love yourself, then you can't love others. You can't, you gotta care about yourself and whatever your surroundings are on a day-to-day basis to, overcoming, and realizing you deserve to love yourself is like the, step one.
Step one for sure.
Let's see. What about spiritual practices? Have there been any spiritual practices that have helped you? Things like communing with nature, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, astral projection, lucid dreaming, affirmation, hypnosis, past life regressions, or other?
I love this question because I get to talk about my new bird friends. But I recently, the way I've been finding peace in everything is I have been feeding my local birds near my house. Like, nice. I'm befriending some crows and these two little black phoebes. They're called black phoebes. And they visit me every day, so nice. That's what I've been getting into recently. It's new, but yeah, my buddy, my little black phoebe comes every day, chirps at me, and I'll go out there with some mealworms and feed him by hand. He doesn't fly to me yet, but if I throw it on the sidewalk, he'll come and collect a bunch and take it to his nest. But that's what I've been doing.
Have you been able to feed him by hand yet?
Nah, I'm trying to. I'll stick my hand out and he'll kind of just look at me. He's not ready yet, but I'm just tossing him on the sidewalk for now, but you could tell he'll be eating out of my hand.
Warming up. Yeah.
He follows us everywhere. Cool. We'll drive, we'll leave our house and he'll follow the car for a little while. It's unbelievable. I recommend that to anybody. Again, it's out of the norm for me because I see birds. I'm like, oh, cool. It's a bird, whatever. But, it's different now. Now I have friends, and the crows, they come visit me too. It's just it's badass. So
That's
I
awesome.
recommend that to
They're
anybody.
smart too.
Oh my gosh,
Real
they're
smart.
so smart. They talk to you, not with words, but they caw back and forth. They're awesome. But that's what I've been doing. As far as like anything else, tried to do past life regression with no success.
Did you go to like someone in person or
No, I
online?
think you sent me a link
Oh, okay.
to a guy, and I was listening to it, and I don't know if it's just my ADD. I couldn't quiet my mind down, so I wasn't really able to do it. But I'm going to keep trying. So I really, that's my next big goal in this whole journey, is I want to see if there's past lives I could remember.
Yeah,
That'd
I would
cool.
gather you'll find some. I think everyone would. Because there's that. Well, I mean, you never know. I don't think many at all of us are here for the first time. I mean, there may be some, but who knows? Who knows?
I that's something I felt. I've always felt that this is the first time, but then that can't be true, because, well, even though I knew this place was going to be bad, doesn't mean I was here before, just because, again, when you're up there, you just know everything pretty much. But for some reason, I kind of feel like this would be my first time. But like I said earlier, sometimes when people talk about their near-death experience, I'm like, I don't know. That sounds kind of familiar. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, the other thing is maybe, that the child and the older person you were seeing and could have been a previous lifetime. I don't know. I mean, it's really tough to say. Yeah, I mean, I would say, did I send you, what did I send you? Did I send you William Bowman's tracks? Is that what I sent you?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm going to put something together for that, and I'll send it over. I'll also post it in the Discord for anyone that would like to join the Discord. Jimmy, if you don't mind maybe popping that up, that would be great, brother. For anyone that wants to join the Discord server. Yeah, I mean, I even though, the script isn't perfect, don't get me wrong with Williams' tracks, but it's pretty damn good. And it's a way to not spend $150, $200 for a session with a regression therapist. You can save money that way. But sometimes doing it in person works too, or doing it on Zoom with a practitioner. Sometimes people need that more specific guidance. The other thing I would suggest for anyone doing it is meditate before you go into it. Keep the setting really chill. Don't do it on your bed. Do it.
Okay, that's what I did.
Yeah. I think that's like a big thing, even just with astral projection too. Like if you're trying to go out of your body, you don't want to be uncomfortable, but you don't want to be in an overly comfortable area that you're familiar with. So one of the things I did is I bought like a 0G chair, and it's comfortable. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's not my bed. So, and I've had success with regressing myself with William Bowman's tracks, and so I'll send you over a link to that, and
please do.
It might help.
I'm gonna try again for sure.
Yeah, keep chugging away, man, and just do a little meditation session, like 15-20 minutes before you even start the regression tracks, and just see how it goes. And you may even want to, like, I usually don't say too much during regression, but I've also recorded myself during it, and then taken notes afterwards. Sometimes I've even had like a notebook to the side of me, where something comes to me and I might write it down. I'm not necessarily
Oh.
looking at the paper, but I just have a
what do
pad
they
and a
call that?
pen holstered like right under me, and I'll just write something. And
I've heard of that.
yeah, so and then you can kind of just look at it afterwards and say,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And then like you may even connect with a certain location, like some, let's just say somewhere in Egypt or India or whatever. And then you can, after the regression, like if the experience really connected. Come here. Oh, dog. You all right? All right, that the dog was puking.
Oh, is it just letting you know?
Anyways, so yeah, so I would where the heck was I? So yeah, write it down, and then if a regression that you experience is really powerful, or you connect with it in a big way, take a map, like one of the old school maps, and just like hover your hand over it, close your eyes, and just point down like in an area. And you may like get a city or a town or a village that you connect with, and then you may even be able to like link other things and by doing another regression. I mean, it's really strange how it all can unfold. And yeah, so that I don't know. I don't really have much to add besides that. But
That's so interesting.
all right. So yeah, I already asked you that. Comfortable. All right. Well, yeah, you already kind of discussed the dark night of the soul. Let's see. How many times do you think you've had paradigm shifts?
Paradigm shifts, as far as like just what I believe.
Yeah.
And
like major belief movements from what you thought you knew.
Often, actually, now that I think about it, I have definitely went from believer to non-believer to believer to non-believer, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, I have to say, often.
Cool. I think that comes with the territory for the seeker, right?
Yep.
How successful have you been with attempting to wake up others, if any?
The only one is my wife. She's my wife is also from a very, very, very religious family, and we just have an understanding. Again, that's why we're married. She knows that I don't like BS. Like, I don't have time to lie. Like, I despise lying to the fullest degree. And she knows what I'm telling her is true. You know, she believes without a doubt. And to her, of course it's crazy, you know, but she believes what I'm saying, and she sees like, what's going on with the world and everything and everything. I show her like hints here and there. I'm like, see that? What about that? Why is that way? And then just every time something comes up, I kind of, you know, just let her know, what do you think about that? And we actually have a proper like discussion about it. It's not like, oh yeah, like she believes what I'm saying. Like, we'll have a back and forth. Like, is it this? Is it that?
Good.
So I would have to say one, and that would be my wife.
Yeah, that's
friends. Friends all think I'm crazy. Well, I've told a couple friends, and they're just like, just Harold being weird, you know. And some friends I won't even tell because I know exactly. I know exactly what they would say and think. So yeah, I'm not even gonna waste my time.
Yeah, I think that's the appropriate way to do it too. And you have the connection with the most important person in your life, your wife. So how much better can that get? I mean, that's awesome.
I got lucky for sure, because she came in at the right time. Let's put it that way.
Great.
For sure.
Now, are you okay to take some questions?
Oh, of course.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll just take a. You doing okay on energy over there?
Oh, I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good to
so
go.
let's we're at the 2 hour mark. Let's take a 5 minute break.
Sure.
And then we'll come back, and I have a few more questions on the sheet here. And then there's a few that people have been sending in that Jimmy's been so nice to send over. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And Jimmy also has a YouTube channel. I want everyone to know that. Feel free to please subscribe and hit the bell for his channel. Jimmy, pop that up, please, in the chat so people can check you out. And yeah, he's been a big help on the channel, and
he's awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's the man. All right, Harold, thanks so much. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. We'll mute our mics, and thank you, everybody. See you shortly. Much more to come. everybody. Thank you for your patience and welcome back. So we are on segment 3 with Harold, and got a few more questions we're going to go through on a list of questions that I have, and then we're going to get to your guys' questions. And thank you again, Jimmy, for submitting all those over to me. I appreciate it, my friend. Makes it much easier. All right, Harold, welcome back, my friend. So what are your thoughts on the God, source, the creator? Since you kind of come to seeing the Soul Trap, like what are your thoughts based, because I know you're like, oh well, there is a heaven and things like that. What's your thoughts kind of now in 2022?
I still I still believe in heaven, but not the heaven I thought was heaven. My instinct says that there is something out there that is blissful, that isn't part of this system. And I've heard you talk about like source, and when I hear that, I think, what stuck out to me is that you said that it's like a place or a being that does not have anything to do with us here in our lives. Like
just creates.
It just creates. I have trouble accepting that. I kind of feel that still currently that there is something out there that does have your back. I think that there is a creator. That's just what my gut is telling me, regardless of everything I've been, figuring out and my experience. And I just think that there is a benevolent being out there that does hear me when I speak to it and does what it can. I feel like that God does exist, basically. Source, just another name for source. It's God. It's the place, the place of creation. It's not a white man with a beard, right? That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like there is an entity out there that does have an effect on our lives. That's just my belief.
Sure. I respect that. The only thing I'll basically add is like, what if that being is actually us? What if it's like us looking out for ourselves and kind of like, because there's like this disconnect between the body and our true essence, wherever it wholly resides, that we're kind of connecting with that. But that doesn't mean that it's not connected and rooted to one grand source. I just don't know what to think of that personally anymore. And then there could be just outside entities in general who, know what the heck is going on here and trying to help some of us along the way as well. I don't know. Just who knows?
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree with what you said. I do think it's just what I'm just going based off pure feeling. And I think that there most definitely is something out there, and it could be us, again, just a piece. That's how powerful this thing is, right? It could just give a piece of us, and we're this powerful, a piece of itself. I'm sorry. And, we're this powerful. That just says a lot about, what God is, what source
extension
is
of it. Yeah.
Right. So I agree.
Yeah, it's just tough to know with any certainty. That's the way correct. I always look at it. But at the same time, like, there have been times in my life where I felt there was some sort of outside assistance, that I just can't deny. Now the only thing I go back to time and time again is what we were just talking about. Like, is it me? Is it an extension of me? Is it some other entity that may not be like the true one God or the true one source that is helping me? But I mean, if we're all kind of assuming that we're all stemmed from this one source, then it's just too many questions for me.
Okay. My understanding of it is this. Okay, so when I was in this place, again, just receiving infinite knowledge, we're so feeble-minded. There's no way we could even comprehend with our tiny brain what God is or what source is. There's no possible way on this planet, because again, we're just these sleeping flesh bags. There's no way to even describe what God is. I started losing my train of thought, but
sorry.
Yeah, I forgot what point I was going to try to make.
Yeah, there's kind of no way to comprehend it in a human form,
right?
Compared to like our more natural state outside of the body.
Right. It's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, we're just so limited on our perception and almost everything.
Yeah.
It's almost it's ignorant and preposterous for us to even attempt to try and fully grasp that unless we are in our more pure form outside of the limitations within the body and this realm that we reside in.
Only the spirit can understand. We're it's like trying to play like a modern video game on a Nintendo. You can't do it. It's not possible. It doesn't fit.
Well,
it doesn't physically fit.
That's a great comparison. Great comparison.
It physically doesn't fit. And anyways,
can't be jamming those cartridges in.
Yeah. You'd have to have. You're right. Exactly. You'd have to have a warehouse full of cartridges to fit inside an NES. It's just can't do it.
Love it. Have you ever had any meaningful premonitions or psychic occurrences in your life? If so, please explain.
Okay, so I've have a lot of psychic occurrences happen in my life, and they're all meaningless. Like nothing that's like that's gonna help me.
Exactly.
Just stupid ones. Like one of the ones I'm gonna tell you, it happens constantly. Like I'm always like, see, that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. It's just stupid things, but one that makes me laugh to this day is I had one of the most vivid dreams of, like, I was just hanging out with my dog, and then something told me to go reach behind her ear, and I was gonna find like a tick. A tick behind her ear, and I was like, what the heck? In my dream, I'm pulling this tick off, and I throw it on the ground, and it turns into a massive tick, and I'm just trying to kill this thing. This is like kind of like nightmare feel a little bit. And then I woke up, and I was just like looking at my dog, and I'm like, no, there's no way. There's not going to be a tick on this dog's ear if I go look. Sure enough, I go look, and my dog has ticks. He's never had ticks ever, and there was ticks behind my dog's ear.
Wow.
And there was multiple ticks. So, and we had carpet. So these ticks were like laying like eggs in like the corners of the carpet. I started finding baby ticks at the corner of the room.
Where do you live again?
Okay, no, that was when I was living in Texas, not Cali. Okay. That was in Texas, not over here. But yeah, it was just a weird situation. But yeah, lots of I constantly feel like I read people's minds. Like every day, my wife will say something. I was like, I was thinking that right now. I was gonna say that, but you beat me to it. And then someone else will say something like, I was thinking that too right now. And I'm like, am I just hearing their thoughts or something, or what? Because it's constant. But again, nothing useful.
Well, I mean, you might with the dog, it might have I mean, I have chronic Lyme disease. I've had it for over a decade.
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
even longer. And, you may have saved your dog from getting Lyme disease. Who knows?
Man.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a biological weapon out there.
Wow.
I don't want to go too deep into that one, but it's messed up. So in a way, it may have meant something, but I guess it depends on the type of tick. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy what's going on.
It's disgusting,
with that
man. So, not to get too hung up on ticks, but first of all, I have arachnophobia. I'm not scared of any bugs or anything, but spiders, I cannot stand them. And I found out that ticks are part of the arachnid family.
Yep.
And ever since that time, oh my gosh, I fear ticks now. Let's just say when I found them, I was burning them.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
Nasty.
They're evil. They're
disgusting.
Flat out evil. Yeah. And there's some of them can be so tiny and it's amazing how much damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that tripped me out about them is like when they haven't eaten yet and they're just like these tiny babies, they're like rock hard. I was trying to smash one with my thumbnail, and they're extremely hard. They're hard to kill.
Yeah, no, they're basically they're ridiculously resilient, and yeah, they're very difficult to kill. Carrie, I didn't know you had Lyme as well. You should come in the Discord. We can talk sometime if you'd like. It's Lyme is a bitch. All right. Do you believe this realm is a simulation, holographic in nature? And what are your thoughts on time?
I think I don't think it has anything to do with, like, when I think of simulation, I think of computers, like a machine out there. I don't think it's like that. I think it's on a spiritual level. That's just my gut instinct. I don't know. But that's just my gut instinct. I think it's versus like a simulation, like there's a big machine out there. I tend to kind of try to think in ways of like physics, I guess. I don't think it's like a machine. I think it's like a spiritual projection of something. Like everything is spiritual. Even in this physical form, it's still spiritual, if that makes sense. Sure. And what was the last part of that question?
Let's see, what was it? What do you, any psychic experiences?
No, not that one.
I'm sorry. Oops, I just did that one. What are your thoughts on time? And
time.
Do you feel it's like holographic in nature that we're in?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. It's definitely just, it only exists right here. Out there is no time. Again, it's just, it doesn't exist. It can go back and forth. Out there, they can go forward, backward, and it doesn't matter, in here, it's even here. Yeah, it's time exists here, but it still fluctuates here. Like, we all notice it. Time flies by sometimes. Sometimes it seems really slow. It fluctuates, but most definitely, time in this realm exists, but out there, there's no such thing. It's irrelevant.
It's crazy how we can be in like this bubble and experience time and in relation to this body, and have that experience when meanwhile, like right outside of us, it's timeless.
Yeah, for them, they're probably still watching me go down. Yeah. For them, I'm still going down the tube.
There he goes.
Yeah, I'm still going down the tube, right? And it's, for me, it's been a long time. And it's been brutal, let me tell you.
Last question I have on the sheet here is, have you ever seen anything materialize and dematerialize before your eyes?
Yes.
Oh,
One of the craziest things I've ever seen. There's been lots of little weird things here and there, of course, right? But one thing that is unmistakable was when I saw the Phoenix lights when I was living in Arizona
oh,
too.
damn! You experienced that, huh?
I went outside and saw the Phoenix lights as it was
Wow.
happening the second time. This one wasn't necessarily as recorded like the first time, but there was a second time around. I was in college, so it was
Damn.
probably 2006.
Did you go to? Oh, I don't want to. Oh, just leave it alone.
No, no, no.
In
I didn't go to.
Phoenix?
No,
Or,
I didn't go. No, I went to a trade school.
okay.
Um, I didn't go there, but
In Phoenix, in the area of Phoenix?
Avondale, Avondale.
Okay, I lived in Scottsdale for a little while.
Oh, did you? I kind of like AZ. It's got a weird vibe to it. I kind of liked, but
or actually, it was technically Paradise Valley, but we were right on the border.
Oh, Scottsdale's gorgeous, man. That's like the place to be if you're going to be in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So I just happened to go outside and I see these lights just floating in the sky, and I was like, man, those are some weird looking lights, because they were like bright, and they were like every shade you can think of. It was like an amber. They were like orbs, and they were just like every color, and it looked like it was in my backyard. Like I was living in Casa Grande at the time, so it's like 40 miles away from Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was literally like in our backyard. That's how these lights looked. It mesmerized everyone. My mom went out there, who is, doesn't believe in crap. She was stunned. And my brothers were just, nope. It was just stationary, just standing there. Huh? And then slowly the lights kind of just turned off one at a time, and then it just disappeared.
How long did you see them for?
Honestly, they were up there for about 5 minutes, I think. I don't fully remember. It was kind of, it was a weird situation. It seemed like a few minutes, but I can't describe the light, man. The light in itself was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They were just so colorful. They had every color in one, basically. It was weird.
Yeah, that whole thing is just bonkers. Mm-hmm. I went down like the UFO rabbit holes for more years than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
But
well, it's your journey, right? You're just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All part of the journey.
Yeah.
So I don't regret any of it. But and things like that kind of open your mind and say, whatever mindset I was at the time, it opens you up to deeper thinking. Oh, well, what if this? What if that? What, on and on and on. So it gets the wheels turning.
Exactly.
And then you go down one rabbit hole, another, and it just kind of keeps unfolding on and on and on. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that you saw them, they were stationary, and then that they dissipated. Like they just kind of
slowly fizzled out one by one. I counted 7 lights, and it was mind-blowing. Again, just looking at these things, I've never seen a light like this in my life. They weren't of course the news came out and said the military were doing flares.
Definitely not flares. And the governor made a big show about it too. Man,
it was
went
embarrassing.
Out there with the alien. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah.
It was so stupid.
It really that whole thing makes me wonder what the objective was.
Right.
Like I don't think I think it had something to do with government. I don't think it had anything to do with the spiritual side of things, or it could have been some sort of weird. I mean, it could even go way far out there and say it had like some programming glitch within the Matrix, but like the fact that it was like kind of like this giant, like, what do they say? It was like, what was it like when you saw it? What compare it to sizes? I remember hearing multiple football fields or something like that.
Okay, so this is why I was kind of mentioning that I saw it when I was in Casa Grande. That's like 40 miles away. To me, it looked like maybe like car size.
Okay.
but it was in Phoenix. So
you're
that means
looking
the thing
way
was
far away.
yeah. So that means the thing was massive. But
Yeah.
from my perspective, it looked like, like a car. It looked like it was in my backyard, but it was 40 miles away. So
damn.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was in your backyard, but 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, I start thinking, yeah, like the whole holographic universe thing, and how they can put these holograms out there, especially like with what we see today with them bringing back Elvis and Tupac and all this crap. I mean, if they have that type of technology, but they can also mess with your like depth perception.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, what about this? What about physically being able to move you? I mean, I can go on all day.
That's a good one.
I can go on all day. I'm gonna just be straightforward. I've had pretty much every paranormal experience you could have.
Damn.
I really have. But yeah, what about, physically moving you, like abductions?
Or just giving you okay, well let's I believe in that stuff. I do. Mm-hmm. I think most of it is where the body is still present, but the consciousness and perception related to the physical vessel, the body, there's that link still, and they could kind of manipulate the world and reality around you. Like I don't believe for a minute that it's space aliens or whatever. Yeah, I just believe that there is some really insane high technology that is out there and linked to this realm, and maybe governments to some extent, where some of it is the realm itself, some of it is the government with access to similar or like technology that can impact a human, and physically make it feel like a full-on abduction experience. Right. Create the environment and close them in something that they feel is something akin to an alien abduction. At least that's my opinion. But okay. So well, let's like I can't let you say have these paranormal experiences without asking. So you got anything to share on that before we get to some of the questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure. I had this experience when I was a kid. Again, I'm able to discern reality from dreams, like we all can. And this wasn't a dream. It's something happened. I don't know what it was. Just probably like 7 years old, just laying in my bed, and I sleep with my door open all the time. And a white light appears at the end of the hallway, and I got scared. I felt something coming, and it's kind of crazy. And a little like robot creature kind of it almost looked like kind of looked like an R2D2. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, it's probably a dream, but it wasn't. Wow. It was something else. It looked like an R2D2, but not, it was just like a little robot, a silver one.
So was it gray? Oh, silver. Okay.
Yeah, it was all chrome, the whole thing. Damn. And it was making noises, and it went right into the doorway, and it lifted its arms up in the air. And like when it did that, I started hearing like static in my ears, and it lifted me out of my bed. And then when it lifted me out of my bed, I felt like I was being bent backwards, and I felt like it was just like electrocuting me kind of. And when that happened, it put me right above itself, and then just zoomed out of my house, and I went with it, and then, and that's it. Damn. That's all I remember. And then when I woke up,
so you didn't go anywhere. You didn't leave your bedroom then?
I don't remember.
I just recall.
Yeah, I just remember just feeling like I was being rushed out of my house, and then that was it. Boom, or that's it.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
You got R2D2 all up in there.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
see, like, I hear that, and I just that one kind of just. Then again, like the whole gray phenomenon
mm-hmm.
is interesting because they kind of like anyone who talks about being quote unquote abducted by these things,
Yeah.
they claim they are basically robotic, like
Mm-hmm.
point blank. They'll say it
Mm-hmm.
time and time again. It's like they had no emotion, no feelings, no nothing,
Yep.
and they moved in a very robotic way.
Yep.
So who
It beeped and
knows?
everything, Mark. It beeped. It was beeping and blurping and making a static sound in my ears. Yeah.
Damn.
So I don't know.
Damn. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Any others you want to share?
There's just so many, so many
Oh,
paranormal
like
things.
pick like one or two more
Spirits.
that maybe stand out.
Okay, so basically, when I was living in AZ, this will be my. I'll just leave this. This will be my last one. I was in. I'm sorry, I read the chat right now.
Everybody's
everybody's
gangster.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty scary. But I was in Arizona, and it was at night. I think I was just watching a movie or something. I went to go to the bathroom, and I just felt uneasy in the house. Just that house always, everyone always complained about hearing things.
And I'm sorry, where was this?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's always complained about hearing noises and stuff in the house, and me not even thinking about it, just watching a movie, and I just kind of get this uneasy feeling. I go to the bathroom, and when I head back towards, we had a little movie theater room. We had a nice little theater room. I was heading back, and I felt like I walked through something. Like I walked through. It felt like my hearing left. Like I felt like I walked through, like it was like water or something. Just I walked through it, and then when I walked through it, I felt cold. I instantly got like really cold, and I felt like the presence of just bad, like something bad was right there that I walked through.
Damn.
And for the rest of I couldn't sleep all night. I was just, and not because I was like scared that something experienced, but I just couldn't sleep. Like something was keeping me up. It just was an ugly feeling.
I find it interesting you mentioned water too.
That's the only way to describe it. It's because like when you put your head underwater and just those like
shocks you,
that sound. Yeah,
it's cold or whatever.
And I walked through, and I was like, "Whoa, what the?" It startled me because I felt it as I was walking through. Completely sober. I'm not.
Damn.
I don't have any. I'm not schizophrenic or anything like that. It just. That happened.
No, I believe you. Damn, man.
Yeah.
So there was really no memory after that. Like any memory of anything related?
No, just that incident, and like I said, that happened to me. I went to go continue watching my movie and try to go to sleep that night. I just couldn't sleep. It just the vibe was off.
Any missing time?
That I don't know because I was just watching a movie. Okay. So I don't know. I watched the movie, finished it, and went back.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Gotcha. So probably not, unless they're pausing the space-time continuum or something. I don't know. All right. Okay. Yeah. So Mary Party the One asks, can we put a photo up in the live? I did that earlier, right after the first break, Mary. So I don't know if you watched the replay or are still here. We did put up the photo of the Greek style Astral Realm building there. SN, great to see you. I hope you're doing well. How did Harold get these memories? By hypnosis or something else? Well, they've always been there, right? Harold?
Yeah. Yep. They've always been there. They've never left. It's my first memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, like I was saying, I remember it more than my first memory in the flesh. Like it's just always been there.
Cool. Dreams and Cosmic Trip. Hope you're doing well out there, brother, as well. Good to see you tonight. He asks, I love this guy's story. It's so unique and interesting. I want to tell him about my NDE too. I could send you his channel, actually.
Yes, please do. That's so cool.
Okay. Enemy at 322. Hope you're doing well this evening as well. Let's see. Question. FC, can you ask Harold to join the Discord if he wants and to check out the movies section of the Discord? There are a ton of movies in there that he could relate back to. Yeah, there was a few we brought up earlier. Yeah. Are you in that server?
I'm in your Discord, but I didn't see a movie channel.
Okay, I'll send you a link. It might be one of the other servers.
A different one? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Ouch C4 says, Harold, do you think they let you remember what you do know?
I think so. And I don't know if that goes with the whole, like, because I'm sovereign and I demanded it or what. I don't know, but I think it just felt like a deal had to be made for me to remember. If I wanted to have an easy life, they were going to wipe my memory, they said.
So sick.
It's just a deal you make.
Yeah. Oh, that just drives me crazy hearing that. It's like, oh yeah, here, Harold, you could have been a millionaire. You could have been living the easy life. But because you want to remember this one specific moment, okay. Well,
it's crazy to think about. It really is.
Okay, so Calvin Morrison question: the calling or beacon that brought your non-material form to the beings that brought you here, is that something that can be avoided? Example: how do we avoid it next time?
I know what he's asking. I get that question. It's just like, how do you don't really know, because if it brought you here in the first place, it could technically, couldn't it happen again? That's what I've been meaning to ask you that too. That same question. Like, and then I think about it. I'm like, I feel like just the type of person I am, I probably did choose. I was like, you know what? That looks pretty sketchy, but I'm going to go down there anyways.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
Because you're just sitting there and you might just be bored. And that's like something to experience. I don't know. Yeah. It seems like a stupid decision while you're here, but
yeah. Well, I mean, if we enter here kind of our own free will and then kind of get lost in the shuffle with the terms of service that are related to here, then there's so many things that are possible and on the table. Let's see. Okay. SNS, why didn't he deny to reincarnate? What were their arguments? Well, that's easy to say after the fact, but
it's the reassurance that they give you. I said no multiple times, especially when I saw the place. It's disgusting. And, I said no multiple times, but they reassure you. They just pour you with all kinds of love and reassurance that everything's going to be fine. You'll be back. And when your concept of time also pushes you over the edge, because you realize, okay, it's going to seem long, but it's really short. So that's another thing. You're just kind of like, okay, I'll go then if I have to go do something, Yeah.
So. I think that's a great way to put it too, because if time doesn't exist, and let's just theoretically say that, this is your first time, Harold, that, you wouldn't know necessarily what it's like to A, be in a human body and experience suffering, and B, like have a grasp of what time is. Or maybe you did experience it in other realms, but you maybe just experienced no time, or maybe you just experienced just suffering, or
what I was thinking about that's definitely true. What I was thinking is the reason why you know what it's going to be like is just because you know everything. Again, like you just know everything. You have all this knowledge pouring through your mind instantly. And it's like your understanding of this place, it's just because you know everything. And it could be that too.
Well, or you think you know everything. Like,
true, yeah.
This is a big thing I brought up in NDEs, where NDEers will say time and time and time again, I knew everything. I knew the answers. I knew it all.
Yep.
But yet they come back here. Yet they're tricked. And like I swear, I would love for the top researchers in the NDE field to do a study on this. I put forth that it's got to be in. I'm going to be generous and just go on the low end and say it's got to be 95%, but it's probably upwards of 98, 99% of the people that talk in NDEs say they did not want to come back. That's like one of the most common things you'll run across. Same thing with a lot, like your pre-birth memories. You didn't want to come. You didn't want to come. Past life, life between lives. They didn't want to come back here, but they feel like, they're kind of going through the motions and the soul group classes and this and that, to the point where they still do it. And we just see it's like across the board in those categories. There's just like it pops up time and time and time again. But yet they're here. So if someone's all knowing, someone's all this and that, like they feel they know the answers, they could just pick out the answers to the universe and boom, they got it. And be able to make a rational decision that benefits and looks out for themselves, but yet they still end up back here. Something's wrong with that picture. It seems to me that in a lot of NDEs, this is another thing. They feel that they are being told answers. If they had a question, they would get the answer. Something is giving them the answer. So like that terminology to me kind of points towards, it's suspect. it's suspect. So make of it what you will. I think
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I kind of look at things, at least now, I mean, I only have limited perception in this meat suit, and my, maybe a few times I've gone out of the body and stuff like that, but my limited perception says that just like here, like you roam Earth, you learn different subjects in school and this and that, and you gain knowledge, just like we had to gain knowledge in topics like this, like and all these, anything, like we have to build up that knowledge with experience. So who's to say that that is any different in the astral? And then if you have a whole system set in place that's designed to zap your memory and kind of push you along like the conveyor belt with the intention to get you back here at some point, then and like, we bow down to these beings, like these masters, these godly beings, all these, teachers, whatever they are, and just blindly comply within their bubble of reality. They're capable. Just remember, we're all creator beings. So if they're capable of emitting some type of frequency, if we're in their world, like I like to say, Earth is, we're the away team. We're coming into town, and we got to play the home team. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, we're not in our world. Like, we're in something else's construct with different energies, different frequencies going all around us. We know we've experienced the memory wipe. So it exists in the astral. We've seen it in NDEs where people will admit point blank that the entities will say, oh, well, we've got to erase your memory. And the reason we've got to erase your memory, just so you know, is because if we don't, we'd be interrupting with your free will back down on Earth. Really? I mean, it just, in people say this, they admit it point blank. So they'll remember everything up to a certain point of a near-death experience. But then the entity, whoever they're dealing with, says, oh, okay, we got to zap your memory right now. Okay. And send you back down here. So there is a really, really fine line for me is to, us being all knowing within the parameters of our experience over time, whatever that is, and our relation to this place and this whole, whatever this whole universe falls under, and how deep it goes, like where the what concerns me, Harold, is listening to your story and many others is like you have a pre-birth memory, but what's before that, Harold?
Right.
Where's all that? Why don't you have access to that? I mean, like that these are the questions that we should be asking, because it's like you deserve those answers. You deserve to know. We all deserve to know where we lie within all of this. And I think a lot of times we feel like, or at least not me, but at least those who have these types of experiences feel like they're in this all-knowing of everything, this category. But when in reality, like if you're in this bubble, this reality that can use this type of sophisticated manipulation, then it's very concerning. So I'll step off the soapbox.
Must not know crap, right? Like you explained it perfectly, because if we knew everything, or if I knew everything, then I would have known I was being tricked. Period.
You would have known something too. You would probably known a lot. Prior. I mean, like I refuse to. I do not believe for a minute that we were created within the system. I just don't. I just don't. I don't feel like I came into anything related to the system at my point of origin. However that works. So.
Yep. Very well said.
Let's see. New Jersey Jeep Girl, hope you're well today, asks how many species view us as a food source and what do they look like? I'm really curious who these beings are. Asking for a friend. I don't think we can really answer that. Any thoughts on that, Harold?
You wouldn't want to know what they look like, and it doesn't matter, because they're just know that they're there.
They're doing it,
and it doesn't even matter what they look like. I think it's probably so terrifying. If you were to see them, you'd probably have a heart attack. Like you'd probably just die just from seeing one. So I don't know. There's different descriptions of these things throughout history, right? Like they come in all different kinds of forms, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I mean that's actually a really good point. They do come in like petroglyphs and all this different types of artwork around the world. And make of it what you will. It's like we still lose a lot of context, but it does show like some outside creepy force that tries to feed off of us in some form. physically or etherically. I don't know. Calvin Morrison, hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. He says, would you ever return again? Sorry, I had to ask.
Me?
Yeah, to you.
No way. I'm done. No way. I didn't want to come in the first place.
Yeah.
Again, I not understanding what was happening to me. It's no way. I'm not coming back.
Hell no.
Nope.
All right. Cool. I kind of assumed that. Let's see. All right, we got 2 more, and then we'll probably wrap things up. Okay. Abstract Angel Artist says, Harold, you seem like a good dude. What's your plan for death this time?
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna peace out. I'm gonna do my best. I don't know. We don't fully know what happens. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn as much as I can until I get to that point, and just like that one out of body experience I had, I'm gonna freaking Neo out of this place and never come back ever. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not gonna.
That's
no
right.
love bombs. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's totally the way to handle it. Just play it safe. That's it. That's
Yep.
I mean, why risk anything? I mean, it just seems like non-attachment across the board is the safest route out of here. At the time of natural death. So yeah, I love it. Let's see. Where are we? Hey, Trippy Viking, good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing well out there. It says I've had 3 NDEs and have used DMT and psychedelics. Shit is very strange indeed. So no question, but good statement. FLV asks, what are your thoughts on the pineal gland?
I think it's the pineal gland is nothing compared to your spirit. They can say that this gland are like trying to keep you entrapped with this whole flesh thing that we're moving around is literally useless. The pineal gland, the mammalian part of our brain, all that stuff, it just doesn't matter. It's just flesh.
Dude, I love it, man, Harold. That's like flesh. The most logical answer I've heard to a question like that.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that 100%.
Yep.
Oh, it's calcified and this and that. All these things that we run across on the internet, like you got to take this supplement and that supplement to decalcify it. Show me the evidence. Show me are all of a sudden these groups of people becoming overly enlightened and able to leave their body? I mean, no, there is absolutely nothing supporting those types of statements, and that's like it all kind of falls under the new age stuff. And I'm not shitting on you, FLV. It's just like this is just things that I've run across personally, and it seems like Harold kind of understands that too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
We're literally just flesh capsules, man. Like it does not matter.
Just do your thing.
Your spirit is everything.
Yeah, and exactly, man. And that's what I talk about, like with the future looking bleak with the whole transhumanism thing. It's like even if they put an additional veil over people, and not saying that that's not screwed up, because it certainly is really messed up. But I don't think for a minute they can fully contain it. It's just not possible. Like our true essence is so powerful and overwhelming that it cannot be fully contained. It can be contained quite a bit, but not to the extent where you're drooling on the street and incapable of any sort of processing. But they sure as heck make it difficult.
Oh yeah.
Out C4 says, what are your thoughts on the reset and mind control that came after the reset? Too many people woke up. You want me to repeat that?
Yeah, I didn't understand that question.
What are your thoughts on the reset and mind control that came after the reset? Too many people woke up.
Okay, so it's kind of like the reset is, do they mean?
I think they're talking about, at least this is my assumption, like they're talking about, if you looked into any of the Tartaria stuff where like basically society was reset fairly recently.
No, but I hear about the current reset they're trying to do.
Well, that too, yeah, the great reset.
Yeah, I keep hearing about that. I don't know about the one previous to that. I believe that it probably happens, but again, it's just all part of the the matrix. It doesn't matter because again, time here is different from out there.
There you go.
So
I love that.
It doesn't matter where, when, reset, what year. It doesn't matter. It's just
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it makes no difference. It's like we're in it now. It's like we're just doing our thing. But yeah, I mean, mind control is a huge part of, and we see that up front and center. And the last question by Hagrid. Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. He asked, the static noise. Was it like white noise or was it high pitch ringing?
It was, from what I remember, it was a little bit of both. It had the white noise, like static, like fuzzy, and then it also had like beeping sounds too, mixed in with it, like weird, like twinkling beeping, like going from right ear to left ear, right ear to left ear, just weird fuzzy static.
Okay.
One way to describe it.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah, I've had that happen in astral projection.
Oh wow.
Before, so yeah, I think it's pretty common with astral projection where you feel, where you sense this, these weird noises, and just before you disconnect fully from your body.
So maybe that's, instead of like a physical abduction, it was like part of my spirit or something they were tinkering with or messing with or something. I don't know.
Yeah, anything's on the table. You know, they gave you they allowed you to suffer more in exchange to retain that memory, but they don't want that memory probably getting out there too much. So that's my opinion.
That's all I remember. I didn't wake up with my butt sore or anything like that, so I don't know.
All right, so no probes.
Nope, no probes.
All right, Harold, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today.
Man, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for spending so much time with us, and I look forward to talking with you down the road, and we will find the stream, and maybe some of you out there can help with this and may remember. Harold came on at one point for one of the open Zoom panel discussions months back, or maybe even last year. Was it last year, Harold?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was probably last year sometime. And I'm trying to locate the link of which one it was. So if any of you happen to remember it and can just say, hey, FC, the date was, whatever it was for the stream, that's when Harold appeared. I want to be able to pop that in the chat. I'm also going to leave the source video to Harold's initial pre-birth memory video that I ran across, and feel free to check it out. I'll also leave the commentary for his experience in the description tab as well, and just in case any of you want to see that. But that's a little older. I mean, we kind of covered everything, so there's really no point to go into that. But if you'd like to, we'll have both of those available at some point, and hopefully the open panel discussion as well. I also would like to put out there that we have a DLive channel Odyssey, where the videos are mirrored. I have a Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, where I play video games once in a while. Not all that often, but every once in a while. And then YouTube, I also have 2 backup channels just in case something should ever happen here. I do get notices. I just got one today, and they happen very regularly where people say that, oh, I didn't get a notification for the live stream. The only solution I have for that is to set up the bell and have it selected to all notifications. Short of that, I that's the best advice I can give. So feel free to sign up to this channel and the backups with the bell selected to all. I mean, the one of the backup channels may become a clips channel down the road, maybe towards the end of the year, early next year, we'll see. But as of right now, they're just kind of there as a precaution. And just so you know, Last Timers Club members, levels 2 and 3, we will be having our monthly members live stream on April 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern at on April 30th, Saturday. So look forward to seeing some of you then. And if you'd like to donate to the channel via credit card securely, there's also stream elements and the super chats and super thanks. But as I always say, as far as information goes, anything that's ever important will never cost a dime. Everything will always be free as long as it's pertinent to the Soul Trap and it's important information. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Harold. It's been a pleasure, my friend, and I look forward to being able to talk with you down the road, my friend.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and thanks everybody in chat. You guys are all awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Look forward to talking to some of you guys.
Yeah, well, we'll see you in the Discord, hopefully.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Good night,
Cool.
everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.